Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome
Yes.
to season 1, episode 27. Numbers just keep going up, Nick.
Yeah, I didn't think the Cloud Foundry weekly train would get this far, but I'm glad we're here for another awesome week, an awesome show. I think last week's session with the Deeb, if you haven't checked it out, it's doing pretty well
Yep.
on the post view. So it's a great primer to Spring AI. So if you just want to get started with Spring and Spring AI, definitely give that a watch as well.
I think that's going to be a very interesting series for us. I think, the way Deeb breaks stuff down, the way he's able to explain stuff, and definitely through his, zero to hero, GitHub, it's very simple to follow along with. But, we got that. That's going to be a regular series. We still got security talks with DMZ. That's going to be a regular series. Things are looking up, man. Again, coming off of Explore, if you watched our recap, PCF is back. Right. So that's exciting. We've got a lot of people talking to us, and that brings up all kinds of new stuff. And, we're going to have something new I won't say it's new. It's the superhero of Cloud Foundry. We're going to have somebody on to talk about the superhero today. You remember Tim Leong? He did the Pokemon cards. Remember the Pokemon cards?
I still need to get some of those, by the way. I'll have to ping him. But
yeah, I think he's going to have to redo them because we had yet another name change, right? So I think he's still got Taz on the Pokemon cards, but we're going to have to do it. But his number one, like Power Infinity, Super Pokemon card was BOSH.
Yes. Yeah, yep. I think it's definitely, I would say, the unsung hero of many successful cloud platforms.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Doing
so many things.
And I guess on that, we might as well just go ahead and bring in our guests. So our special guest today is going to be Maya Rosecrance. So she is a longtime standing contributor to PCF and Cloud Foundry. She started with the Loggregator team, moved to the metrics team. I think in 2017, you went, in London, you were part of the Redis team, followed up by, going to, then you went to the BOSH team. 2021, you became the engineering manager for BOSH, one of the strongest parts of Cloud Foundry. Hi, Maya.
Hi.
So tell us a little about that. So you're the engineering manager for all things BOSH and OpsMan now.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
A lot of great responsibility in that role. So I guess too, did we prep about we can't forget our first question?
No, we can't forget our first. We always forget our first question.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen the show, we're always like, "Hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna ask you this question." And 30 minutes in, we're like, "Whoops, we forgot to ask you the question." So we're doing better about asking the first question the first time. So I guess, do you remember your first CF push or your first contribution or interaction with Cloud Foundry? Since you are a contributor, you get a special variation of the question. Can you tell us about that first time?
I think I remember my push. So I was with Pivotal Labs on the consultancy side. And at the time, the Boulder office was pretty much just getting a lot of web apps to build, 12-factor web apps. And the first year, we were just doing Heroku pushes of everything. And I think PWS came into effect somewhere around there. And then we pushed to PWS. And I was like, oh, this is just like Heroku. And it took a few years to realize how much more it was. And why it makes sense for a lot of customers beyond kind of like Heroku did.
Nice.
And I'm going to modify the question a little bit because you've got experience across a lot of different teams within Cloud Foundry. What was your first contribution? Do you remember your first contribution?
It would have been to Loggregator. I don't remember a ton of what we were doing. I think we named Doppler while I was on that team. So,
it was only 7-8 years ago, and you don't remember, Maya? Come on. You're not writing this stuff down?
You got to go through your Git history.
That's right.
I heard recently, are we going to shared nothing architecture? So all that code is going to get deleted for real now?
Well, yeah. It'll never be deleted, right? Somebody will be using it for a long time, I'm sure. You gotta.
Well, and we did an episode. I think it was episode 17, right? We did a whole episode on shared nothing and what's going to happen. Good and bad stuff there, I guess. Everybody knows Loggregator. Shared nothing is going to fix some of what they can, what we consider the issues. It's going to fix some of the what's the word I'm looking for? Where where you had to have, we had a fixed ratio of, Dopplers, and we're fixing that.
Controllers.
Thank you. God, man, my brain is just not going with me today. But, how does that feel to see the very first project you worked on kind of going away?
I think to some degree, I think change is healthy. Like the BOSH code base is 15 years old, and there are parts of it that, I would love to actually have the chance to rewrite, but it's what it is.
Well, there you go. So you bring up BOSH. So tell us a little bit about BOSH. For those that don't know,
all right,
what's layman's terms?
So BOSH is the VM orchestration tool that kind of underpins Cloud Foundry. Yeah. So we pretty much, we have a kind of a deterministic manifest, and we will deploy as many VMs as you ask us to. We'll put your code on it. We provide a stem cell as well, which is kind of the operating system image, and you can swap that stem cell out. We release one at least monthly, if not more often, if we have a higher critical CVE from Ubuntu. We do Windows stem cells as well, so you can switch operating systems. Yeah.
All right. And then we've got OpsMan, which is kind of the UI, right?
Yeah, so it's a separate VM, and it provides kind of an opinionated way to deploy the BOSH director, and then, yes, also a UI.
Yep. What are you saying, Nick?
I was going to say the origin of the word, the BOSH, the acronym, I felt like somebody somewhere had like BOSH meant something. And now I can't find it, and I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, it's recursive itself. Well, I've forgotten too.
Yeah. If anyone's watching, we'll take this interlude to shout out to Keith who's watching. Hey, well, always appreciate your viewership. And then according to Tim, he still has 100 of those Pokemon cards in his drawer. So we'll have to sync up and get this distributed amongst our friends.
I can guarantee if we would have had those at Explore, they wouldn't have lasted.
Oh, they would have been gone.
Yeah.
So man, this is notes for Barcelona and Cloud Foundry Day, Germany. So
with OpsMan and coming in with OpsMan, I mean, OpsMan provides the ability for the platform engineers to do their backups. It gives the UI kind of the focus to go in and work with BOSH, work with the director. The upgrades that everybody's being able to upgrade, all the things that people love about the platform. At the forefront of this is BOSH and OpsMan, right? And this is what you're responsible for. And I understand we've got some updates and some features that are coming in with 3.0, and that's kind of what we're here to talk about. All right, well, up to you. What's new?
Yeah, so I thought I would highlight kind of what we've shipped in the last year. I think the feedback we've heard consistently from our customers and from our support engineers has been upgrades are slow and painful, and cert rotation makes that much, much worse. Mm-hmm. So it's been kind of like the thing we've been looking at fixing, or at least improving, for more than the last year, but in the last year we've shipped some more features towards that. Yeah.
Well, and I think, coming from the platform, and Nick, you're going to get this, you come from the platform engineering side as well. I mean, it's great that the platform, it provides the certificates for the developers. They don't have to think about it, but certificates are still certificates. They're a pain in the neck. And while, I think OpsMan and the platform does do things, in the past that made that easier. Like you said, it was still a pain in the neck. So I think this is probably one of the things that most engineers are looking for is how can you make this process simpler for us? And that's kind of one of the major tenets of what y'all been working on over the last year.
Yeah. So I guess maybe I'll start with last fall. We shipped a feature that does auto rotate of BOSH DNS certs. Mm-hmm. It involved an architecture change to the BOSH director. So the open source community can take advantage of it if they implement kind of like their manifests in the way to take advantage. But basically what we do is we track if a deploy includes a stem cell deploy. So we know that if you are using a new stem cell, you get a whole new VM. And in that case, it's super easy for us to throw in a new regenerated BOSH DNS cert.
Nice.
And the BOSH DNS cert is the cert that allows it to connect back to the director, so we can have two-way communication. And it's also one of the most painful certs in our system because each VM needs to have one. It needs to be up to date. Otherwise, we have no connectivity in our system. And if it goes out of date, the BOSH director loses track of its VMs, and then it panics and tries to resuscitate them and spins up more VMs, and then all of a sudden you have double the size of your deployment, and maybe that wasn't what you wanted.
So on the auto rotated, so with the selective deploy, we've got the ability to come in and, as a platform engineer, say, let's keep an old stem cell for whatever reason, or we update. The system goes through and it'll recognize, okay, this product, this stem cell's changing. We're going to update on these VMs. What does it do with the ones that maybe are part of the selective deploy? Just leaves the old cert. Do we maintain 2 certs on those?
We will maintain 2 certs on those.
Okay.
And then eventually when you update the stem cell on those, it will detect that it's time to bump to a newer version.
Yeah, I think anything with auto rotate makes people happy. One of those things they just don't have to think about. So I know a lot of customers were really excited about that.
Yeah, and it is an opt-in feature. And I think right now we're waiting for more customer feedback before we start rolling this out to other certs in the system. So I think if it proves to be useful, I think the next one we'll target is the services TLSCA, which I think is extremely painful because when you rotate this, I think app devs need to rebind their services.
Right.
So we're hoping to kind of take a look at this next, assuming that this path proves useful.
Well, and that could be, because there's people out there, we've got customers that are picking up, TPC or PCF just for, say like RabbitMQ for those services. So that is definitely something that those customers would be interested in, because it can be painful, especially if you get, 50, 100, 200 different service instances running. It can be a very long, drawn out process to rotate those. Now, again, we do things to make it easy, but that, make it easier, but that doesn't make it easy. But you guys are looking to try to consolidate all the cert rotation into something that's a lot easier, something that this is something that takes hours of platform developer time or engineer time when it comes around. So what's the goal here at the end? Are y'all looking to try to do fully automated, or what are y'all looking to do?
That's the vision right now. Again, I think we're waiting for the feedback to back up that this is the right direction. But I can see us getting to a world where even the OpsMan root CA and then everything that chains off of that, the rotation is always happening. It's happening under the hood. No operator ever has to worry about this and then we'll send reminders like, hey, you should update a stem cell every now and then so we can kind of roll out a lot of these cert changes. Yep. So a lot of our cert timelines by default are 2 years. So hopefully foundations aren't staying that static. But certainly, sometimes a part of a deployment just works and then operators don't want to touch it. And then a year or 2 goes by and we're like, oh, it's time.
Yeah, you should definitely patch, at some point, right? So, and I think, a lot of these changes we started to see within the 3.0 series of Ops Manager, right? Like some of these automated rotations. So I feel like too, if anyone's out there still running the 2X series, you should definitely upgrade and see all this awesome stuff that's been happening. And your life will be easier too, just by upgrading. So,
well, and I don't know if you heard, but when she said, we see a vision to where all these are kind of auto rotated, there was a collective swoon across the community when you said that. I heard it in my ears. People were like, oh, thank goodness, right? You take care of the cert problem. You take care of a lot of toil that comes, I would say one of the main areas, one of the only areas that has a whole lot of toil within the platform is cert management. But cert management's hard no matter where you go, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I would argue that trying to do this without BOSH on large scale systems is 100 times worse, or just impossible without some kind of centralized management tool to help you. But yeah, it's kind of like I used to say this back in the day. If you certs as taking out the trash, nobody wants to deal with certs, but you have to, and if you don't rotate you don't take out your trash, your certs start getting real stinky, and you gotta get rid of them and keep them fresh, so to speak. But just a chore that you have to do regardless of kind of assuming you want encryption and things, which is generally everything. So yeah, it's just a normal process, but definitely for those platform engineers, operators, make sure you're checking out some of our latest updates here, and should help out for sure.
Well, and think about the whole, one of the things that we always press, we've had talks on it, we've had companies talking about it, right? The repave. We want to repave our foundations on a set time frame for security reasons, for refreshness, being able to do automatic, rotations on each repave. Highly secure, right? If you're able to rotate those certs on a very frequent basis. You end up having a problem. Let's repave. Let's rotate all our certs. It's something we don't have to think about. So it's not only helping with the toil of the developers, but it's also, in a way, it's making the platform way more secure.
Yeah, because in most places they'd either not have certs or that they would expire and break and things. So yeah,
Well,
for sure.
and I think that brings up, and you'll have to correct me. I can't remember if this came in 3.0, but we also implemented like for lower environments, the ability to set long-term standing CAs. So that like in the lower environments, I do not recommend that you set a 15-year CA in production, but for lower environments, this is something that can help reduce toil as well. Did that come in 3.0 or did that come in prior?
I want to say prior maybe, but maybe we only shipped in 3.0. That was at least a year ago that we did that.
Yeah. It's hard. You guys are making a lot of changes. It's hard to keep up with what changes are coming in what versions. We should probably have that in our heads, Nick.
Yeah. Well, I tried. I'm trying. There's a lot of stuff to keep track of, but I guess another way, and obviously not the preferred way, is just have a 30-year-old CA or something. Never have to worry about that. Set it past your retirement date of expiring, and you'll be good, right?
Well, and it's funny you bring that up because I had a customer, right, when he was very excited about that because he was within, I think, 3 or 4 years of retirement. And he said, yeah, first thing I did when that feature came out was I went and set all of our CAs to 6 years so that I know I don't have to worry about it, right? let the new guy take advantage of that one.
Maybe not the most optimal path, but I guess that is a creative way to navigate that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I guess the other thing I want to highlight, so we did the auto rotation, but like I said, sometimes you can forget about some VM off in the corner. So we shipped a feature in May to increase the visibility, so you can see what VMs you haven't rolled and you might need to, and what's like how far you are on the cert rotation process. And granted, a lot of this is assuming you're trying to do a 3-step deploy. So basically, a 3-step deploy is you have the old cert and the old CA, and then you add a second CA to the root. I don't know. I guess the thing that's communicating with, and then you add a second. Then you replace the cert on the VM. No, you add 2 certs, and then you do a third deploy once everything is on. I'm mixing this up now.
No, I think you're right. So, you come in, the first step is you go in, you put the new cert, you get the cert on the system, you deploy, that puts the certs. So now you got 2. The third deploy goes and removes the old certs after you say, hey, switch my certs in, right?
There you go.
And while that does help, I do know that a lot of customers, with 3 deploys, especially when you're looking at very large foundations, right? We've got customers out there that have foundations with 200, plus Diego cells. Doing this type of deployment is something that is a full weekend plus to do. And so that's one of the reasons that's for the lower environments, they were excited about being able to set that CA cert so long. Do you have any plans to help with the CA?
At some point, that would be nice to add to the auto rotation procedure.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done that yet. But actually, if I can share my screen, I want to show you this new dashboard we shipped in May.
Sure.
So we announced it with this one line in our release notes. I think hopefully you'll find out about it through other channels rather than just our release notes. But if not, here you go. And what this looks like is here's my sample OpsMan environment. But there's a new certificates page. And it will show you kind of the expiry of the different things, and you can also see the status. So this one is not on auto rotation. I can see what deployments it's in, and I can see it's on the most recent CA. It's been propagated.
Nice.
Here's an example of like if you are partially through the deploy, you could click into one of these deployments. You'd see that it's incomplete for some deployments or tiles in this case. And then this would actually show you which specific VM needs to be deployed in order for the cert rotation to complete.
That's awesome. So not only helping the platform engineers know where they are in the process, because it is kind of easy to get lost, especially when you're doing the 3-step process, but this is also something for the security guys to know where the certs are sitting, what's been updated. This could be an audit capability right here.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of our financials or public customers, public sector customers. This is something that could be to help with their audits on where they set with certificates and how the platform's managing those.
Yeah, I'm following along on one of my own ops managers. I haven't even quite checked this out yet. So like, yeah, I like the how you're able to track like what instances are tied to what certs too. Because I'm looking at like the BOSH DNS cert. It's like, oh, there's all 26 BOSH VMs and like what deployment they're part of, things like that.
Yeah, I think that this one, I don't know, it doesn't really have a ton of VMs attached to it, but yes, I guess our CA, we have one deployment.
Yeah, I think this is very. I like to see this too, because I guess even on mine, I have a bunch of like Cerberus instances for different tiles. So I can see all those too. So those can sometimes get lost in the mix, so to speak. We have cycling through a bunch of installs or whatever. So cool, very nice to see this.
Yep, makes it very easy to follow along with, but I mean, just looking at this page, I mean, you can tell how much certs are used throughout the platform, to help with security. It's still a lot to look at, but at least this kind of breaks it down to, an easy to follow method, know where you're sitting, know what step you're in. This should help a lot of engineers. So again, to Nick's point, look at what you're missing if you're not upgrading, right? You want to get to the latest and greatest. I'm going to channel my inner Deshaun here. We don't want you N-1, N-2. We want you on the latest, and there's reasons why. This is a good reason why.
Yeah. You can't complain about certs unless you're on unless you're on a relatively new version of Ops Manager, because you're missing out so much of the work that's been done, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. What else we got, Maya?
I can talk about compiling changes. So I guess to go back to the basics, if you're writing a BOSH release, so you're trying to provide a service like Redis to apps in the future, you'll wrap your Redis in kind of some BOSH idioms in like a BOSH release, basically. So this is like templating it in such a way that the BOSH director knows how to interact with it. And when the BOSH director is ready to deploy it, it will spin up a compilation VM, take the source code, compile it to be machine readable, put the code in a blob store, and then it will spin up the VM for the end user and then put that compiled code on it. Now, what release authors have done for a while is they pre-compile the release. So what they give to end users is a compiled release, and it's smaller, it's a little more secure, and it skips this compiling step, which can take anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes just for this compiling step. So what some folks discovered is that in order to pre-compile it, previously, what you would do is you would have a running BOSH director, and that would spin up this compilation VM, and then after it uploaded it to a blob store, it would pass it back down to you, and so then you could just use those blobs. What folks found is that they can just use a BOSH agent in a Docker image to do that compilation. You don't need a full BOSH director to do this pre-compilation anymore. So that was kind of a fun feature that folks discovered and finished implementing this summer.
So is that then essentially you pre-compile everything, and then the tile or whatever the bits are, like as they get rolled out to the platform engineers, customers, like that's all ready. Like they're not those ops managers aren't then compiling it and spinning up compilation. So skipping that whole step essentially.
Yeah. So this works with tiles that are like pretty much most tiles are pre-compiled, right? So that's why you have a TAS for Linux and a TAS for Windows, right? Because those are pre-compiled against Windows or Linux.
Okay.
I assume most tiles are pre-compiling for Linux or Windows specifically, and there's a lot of advantages to customers to have it that way. But people can do this with like raw BOSH releases as well.
So is this where we're seeing, a large amount of that time that was cut out of the pre-compilation stage when we're doing and apply changes? Is this the feature that did that, or was that something else?
No, this is just a new way to do that. I think we've been pre-compiling tiles for a long time now. I think this has been known. We did add compilation to a different step too, if we're ready to move on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So we had a support engineer point out that every time you do a deploy of the BOSH director, one of the first things it does is it compiles the CPI. So the CPI is like the IA specific interface that we use to kind of make BOSH work on Google or Amazon. And it wasn't super obvious on how to make this precompiled, because when you deploy the director itself, the director is deployed with kind of this pseudo director run through the BOSH CLI that doesn't have all of the things that a standard BOSH director has. So anyway, we did some work. We figured out how to precompile the CPI itself. And because OpsMan images are tied to each IaaS, we already know which IaaS it is. We can precompile against that specific IaaS. And then what we can ship to customers is a BOSH director that now spins up 10 to 15 minutes faster.
Okay, so I think that's probably the phase, because I know there were a lot of customers that were very excited about that, because when you do an apply, right, one of the longest steps, it could take it was in some cases taken up to an hour to do kind of that compilation step. That was one of the features that was released, is we cut that time down significantly. And that helped with a lot, especially if you're using automation, right? And maybe one of your automation steps breaks and you got to go back through that. The ability to cut that compilation time down, you're saying 15 minutes, but in reality, it could be much more than that, depending on how many times you go through your automation. That was a huge thing for customers as well.
I mean, it'll be 10 to 15 minutes per director deploy, assuming the stem cell doesn't change.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And then if you have to, like I said, so if you're going through like concourse automation, we hit a tile, it breaks, you got to restart your automation, you're saving it again on that next step. So, it could be, 20 minutes times 2 or times 3 that you're saving there through a complete automation rotation. So, yeah, that was something people were very excited about. Anything that cuts down time of automation and deploys, apply changes is something that people get excited about as well.
Yeah,
I think the real point here is people don't realize the work that you're putting in, because BOSH is another one of those things that's just kind of in the background, that just does a bunch of stuff. People know it does a bunch of stuff. It's underappreciated for what it does. It's also one of the most important parts of the platform. And, I don't think you and your team get enough credit for what y'all guys do to make this platform as great as it is. When we look at things, we're going to be, upcoming episode, we're going to be talking about using Taz as, a data as a service platform. The ability to do that is the creation of VMs, the BOSH managed VM creation, and being able to do that, much like a public cloud would do, right? How do you orchestrate that? BOSH is what does that. That's important. You guys aren't getting the credit I think you deserve. You really are kind of the unsung heroes of the platform.
No, we appreciate that. It's also, we have a team of 11 folks at this point working just full time on BOSH and Ops Manager and stem cells.
Right.
And it's interesting working with a code base 15 years old. Like a lot of these like big transformation changes, they come out in outcomes almost like small tweaks. Like our cert rotation thing, like, we've been talking about it for a few years, but we had to get the momentum to be like, yes, this is the right direction. And then, it took, 3 to 4 months of engineering effort. And then here we are with this feature. But I think a lot of our features going forward will kind of look similarly. Like, the base bones of BOSH are mostly there. Every now and then we might do an architecture shift in various directions. But a lot of our job is just kind of keep it running, keep it stable, keep it secure.
Yep. Well, and just the ease, right? This was something that came up at Explore. Okay, people, like I said, we had talked to more people about Cloud Foundry during Explore than I've talked to in the last 6 months. And one of the questions was, okay, I've got this environment to put it in. What does it take to get the platform going up? Can you install an OVA? If you can, that's getting your platform up, right? And if you don't know how to install an OVA, maybe you probably shouldn't be an Explorer. But, people were kind of surprised by, okay, I can't believe it's really that easy. And I actually did a demo for a customer while we were at Explore and said, here, let me just throw up a new OpsMan for you. And let me show you how this works. And we walked through it, went through the steps, and they were, oh my God, I can't believe it's that easy. Well, this is what Maya's team does, is they make it that easy. Now, is it a full-fledged platform? No, you got to go through and do some more steps. But the platform itself is an OVA, right, at its base core.
Well, I think to kind of expand upon that a little bit, having that simple OVA experience with vSphere, getting bootstrapped, right? Everybody kind of can work through that. But then having something like SRT be available too to really kind of try the full Cloud Foundry experience without the full Cloud Foundry VM size is very useful for folks too. Just trying to get started in things, especially for demos and things. Like I've got it all running on like a little mini PC too that I was toting around last year at last year's Explorers. So it's definitely interesting to see how you can kind of narrow it down, but then also expand it to like very large scale, like multi AZ cloud-based systems running, hundreds or thousands of VMs type of thing. So it's a very, very flexible in that nature. So it's just, I try to explain it as like, it's like Terraform and Ansible and like 3 other things all combined up into one thing that just works, and that you don't have to like write a bunch of like I guess that I'm definitely going on a tangent here. I hear this all the time of like there's this like side oh, you have to like we don't know how to write BOSH deployments or how to do we don't have BOSH engineers. Like, well, if you're using Ops Manager, I guess that's the one benefit of the commercial version from us is that we provide an OVA, we provide that simple experience and kind of wrap it up in a way where you don't really have to worry about any of those things. You can just generally take a base Linux admin. If you have like Linux admin type skills, like like the Linux command line, you can then use Ops Manager to help maintain your BOSH deployments, and you don't really have to go under the covers. You can just use the UI and upload tiles manually if you need to. It's not like this super complicated thing where you have to write a bunch of YAML and things to get started. So.
Well, we even have, we've got documentations out there about how to create tiles. If you want to create something for yourself, there's an ability to do that. You brought up 2 things there. One is, the small footprint. So the SRT, small runtime, small footprint. Everybody knows how excited Nick gets about AI. I get that excited about small footprint, right? I don't think that enough people realize the power of what you can do with small footprint. Runs better on prem, but if you're going into the cloud, it gives you the opportunity to do things like cut out the infrastructure costs. The infrastructure costs in the cloud can go to a specific team, but you can bring in just have somebody manage the platform. I mean, small footprint is excellent for that. Small footprint's going to be kind of the basis, I think, for data as a service using TAS. There's a lot of stuff there that a lot of use cases that people aren't thinking of. We've got a customer, a very big customer that. They're not necessarily using the platform, but they use BOSH to roll out ECS instances, right, for their data side. BOSH has got a lot of use cases, not just within the platform. We make it work with the platform, but BOSH can be used for other things. BOSH is an extremely powerful tool. So what made you get started? How did you get into the BOSH team, right? You went through all these other things within the platform. What got you excited about BOSH? What got you on the team, and what made you want to be the engineering manager for it?
Well, so I actually, my last team in London was the Garden team. And the Garden team is basically the containerization layer that ends up in Diego cells. And I don't know, that part really interested me. And then BOSH was kind of like the next logical team, kind of along that kind of lower level space on the Cloud Foundry platform. And I was looking to move back to the US at the time, so I applied for a transfer.
So did you go to London for Redis, or were you already in London and then joined the Redis team?
So they closed the Boulder office, and they were willing to transfer folks anywhere that they could find a job offering. So I used the chance to move to London.
Nice. Very nice. All right.
Do you have any fun stories about working on Garden and like Diego and like anything cool in that regard?
Ooh, so I never worked on Diego.
Okay.
His Garden, but I think what was interesting about Garden, it was maybe one of the few successful teams that was like half open source contributors and then half pivotal. And we were pretty much just delivering open source outcomes with this team. But like our PM was from IBM. We had a few engineers from SAP. And I think we were able to like execute some really cool things very quickly on that team. We're all in the same direction.
And that's an interesting point, right? There's a lot of community around BOSH and around Cloud Foundry. We contribute to open source side. We've got the commercial side, vice versa. I mean, you mentioned SAP. We've got, others that are out there that are contributing. I mean, this is more than just a commercial offering. It really is a community around the whole platform as a service. Yeah. So how often do you get to interact with outside companies, working on BOSH?
So our tech lead, Ruben, is heading up the Cloud Foundry TOC for I want to call it the BOSH infrastructure group. So right now, kind of top of mind for them is Noble. So that has been kind of coming along. I think we have maybe a beta for One IaaS out there right now. But I think Noble will be exciting because we're moving away from Monit towards systemd. So we'll shim it so that BOSH releases won't actually have to change anything. Mm-hmm. But under the hood, it'll be nice to get rid of this 10-year-old Monit package that we haven't been able to update for licensing reasons and use systemd, which I don't know, has much wider adoption, much wider usage, more security patches, that kind of thing.
So I can't type Monit summary now going forward?
I think we're going to shim it, so you can still do that. It will just do like systemd process summary or whatever underneath the hood.
Very nice. Don't want to lose muscle memory. I have a lot of muscle memory.
Monit, yeah.
Oh, we've got something from Dobbs here. He's saying BOSH-D CF deployment rotate all certs, please. I like that.
If it were only that simple, right?
There you go. Well, there you go, Maya. You going to accept the challenge?
I hope you get there. I think that'll be exciting. Another direction we could take this is if we get enough feedback that enough customers have multiple foundations, then they might not actually care about doing 3-step rolling deploys. And we could just be like, rotate all of the certs in this foundation right now. And then, yes, it will cause downtime, but we can bring it up a lot faster, totally repaved.
Well, like if you had them in like a GSLB in front of multiple. I see.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of customers out there that do, warm, active standby type deployments. So you heard it here, folks. If you are a customer that wants to be able to just rotate all your certs in one go, you got to let us know, because Maya can't work on stuff if customers aren't asking for it. And she just she threw the gauntlet down. So reach out to me, reach out to Nick, reach out to Maya. Let us know that you're a customer that wants to see this, or else, we can't push it. I think a lot of people would like to see that. Hey, I'm going to take my foundation down, just completely repave, rotate all my certs, not have to go through this process, go to the next data center and move on.
Well, I
think
guess,
that'd be great.
Yes, that would be awesome. On that vein, I know we have announced some things with what we're calling it these days. I think it's Avi Load Balancer again. It was NSX Advanced Load Balancer. Anyway, yeah. I'm just gonna call it Avi because I think that's the current name again. So the VMware Avi Load Balancer, where we could get like wire up the Go routers or wire up the Go routers as backends to an Avi VIP, perhaps. I think there's some work being done around there too. So maybe we could continue that path.
Sure. Yeah. So the NSX load balancers are getting fully deprecated in favor of this Avi load balancer. So we're going to ship in the next month. I guess the compiled CPI isn't out yet, so that'll come out in the next month. And this Avi load balancer support is going to also come out.
Okay.
And so, I mean, this is kind of an upgrade path for customers that were using the NSX load balancer and now can't.
Right. Well, and I mean, that brings in some interesting scenarios too when it comes to multi-foundation, right? You can do the multi-foundation today with custom, domains and stuff and having a GSLP, but having the Avi out there. And of course, Avi is scalable, right? You can auto-scale Avi. So you get that kind of advantage, when it comes in. But, to Nick, to your point, maybe we should just do a show that does a translation of all our iterations of names by product, right? Just so people, can understand.
We'd have to do another one right after.
Well, that's probably going to get us in trouble, but we do like to rename things here.
Yeah. There's from the Tanzu Vanguard community, Scott Rosenberg has a very interesting take on the various names of VMware products.
Yep.
But yeah.
One name that hasn't changed?
I just want to say that.
Yeah.
One name that hasn't changed is BOSH. BOSH has stayed, rock steady throughout all the years. So.
And has Ops Manager changed?
It's coming back. I think it's BOSH Outer Shell.
Outer Shell. Yeah. Is there something with like a clam or something? I don't know.
Hang on. All right, if I can come back in 30 seconds, I have a sticker.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And just like that,
side-
we lose our guest. We lose our guest star.
Stickers.
Yep.
If anyone watching has any questions while we're looking for stickers, please let us know.
We got a mascot redesign.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So this is the new
nice.
BOSH mascot. If I ever end up seeing, I don't know, more of the Cloud Foundry community in person, we can hand these out.
Oh, whoa. So these are fresh minted stickers?
Yeah,
Where did you? Whoa. Well, how do I need these? Because
I do too.
We need to connect on how these were produced.
Can you send us the image? We'll make sure that they get out because I go places, Nick goes places. We'll make sure that they get out.
Yeah. I can get you the new mascot.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to end up having to just have like a third backpack everywhere we go, just with stickers, Nick.
Well, then I'll have all the AV gear too, as well. So yeah, I'm every conference now. I'm like my packing situation is like half my suitcase is like AV gear and stickers, and the other half is like maybe some clothes and then probably some other swag or something. So it's like.
Yeah, I feel bad when we do some of these things because he comes in just looking like a stooped over old man. He's got so much weight on his back. It's like, I can take some of this stuff, but no,
well,
Nick
one
doesn't
day
want to, don't touch my gear.
One day my backpack will explode and then I'll have to get a new one. I don't know. It's coming. The seams are still holding, but shout out to the whole Swiss Gear backpacks. That's you feel like you can fit infinite amount of things in there and continue to keep rolling.
We'll just go to Army Surplus and get you a duffel bag because you're going to need it here soon.
Yeah, I think I need to get like a real like a padded case for all this stuff now at this point. How much I'm taking around with me these days. But yeah, I guess that's a good interlude to if the Cloud Foundry weekly live show at Karlsruhe, Germany. You should register if you're going to Cloud Foundry Day in Germany. I think they're going to sell out again, so you should register sooner rather than later. The numbers are definitely getting close to capacity, so be sure to get your tickets if you want to go. So we did sell out last year in Heidelberg. So another PSA, please register so you don't. And we did have folks last year who couldn't go because we ran out of tickets. So register soon rather than later. Anyway.
Yep, I'm going to get the link. We'll throw that up. We'll throw that in the show notes as well. But yeah, I mean, if you're never been there, it's a great opportunity to catch up with other users of Cloud Foundry, hear interesting stories about some of the innovation that some of the teams are doing, and just get to meet people that are that are using the same products. You can learn a lot of new things and get a lot of new ideas just by attending one of these. So hopefully everybody will, over on the Europe side will be able to make that. Looking forward to seeing everyone. So, and then I'm going to post this up. Okay, y'all keep talking while I post this up on a banner.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. So we mentioned that the compiled CPI and the Avi load balancer stuff is coming up, and we're going to call that in the Tanzu Platform 10 release cycle. So at Explorer, we announced a bunch of things within Tanzu Platform 10 for Cloud Foundry, and this would be within Tanzu Operations Manager. Are we going to go to Tanzu Operations Manager 10?
No, we're going to do a 3.0 patch.
Okay. All right. So yeah, OpsMan will still be 3.0. So just there's been a lot of talk about the 10 jump and all the other ecosystem
another
versions.
one-line release note, I think.
Yeah. We definitely need to do a better job because that is one thing I noticed. Like, well, it's like a one-line release note, like major feature in BOSH. Like, we need to maybe I do or we all need to do a better job about
open
telling people about how awesome that is. Yeah.
Well,
so
I think we do need to probably go through. That's another show idea is to really talk about Tanzu Platform 10, what that means, because we should go out and a lot of people got used to the new schema when it came to BOSH releases, and 10 is not going to be an LTS, right? So I think we should probably work up a show just to kind of walk through what that means, how it's going, what the impacts are, and what customers can look forward to on Tanzu Platform 10. And then we've got, again, BOSH and OpsMan staying steady, same release, same schema, no name changes. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all may end up being the only product that keeps the name for more than a year. And y'all have been going on. How long has Ops Manager been Ops Manager?
Oof.
I think
8 years?
forever, right?
10 years?
There was
8
a while
years.
we were calling himself installation. But yeah, I think OpsMan has been maybe the one we sold ourselves as many years ago.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was Pivotal Ops Manager back in the day, if I remember.
Well,
correctly, right?
there's some debate on whether we're going to have to call ourselves Operations Manager.
Really?
Oh, well, we can always shorten
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if
In
you've
it-
noticed with Tanzu platform for Cloud Foundry, but yeah, we like shorter names.
There's the legal approved names and the brand approved names, and there's the actual names that people say, with the words.
Yeah.
So, how
Yep.
to say. But yeah. All right. So we do have quite a bit of live audience. So if there's any questions for Maya or us, please let us know. We're a pretty good count right now. So
Yeah. just
don't
watching the
be
counts go up.
bashful.
Again, I want to call out Dobbs. That's the perfect kind of comment, right? That's the kind of stuff that we can actually, yes, there's a little bit of tongue in cheek there, but it does show where the audience is kind of wanting things to go. Hey, give me something simple to rotate all my certs. And I even love the fact that he put the please on the end of it, right? No need not to be nice about it.
Okay, thanks. Bye at the end too.
Yep, I agree with you, Dobbs.
Oh, sorry. We clicked on the comment at the same time.
Yep. Yep, I agree with you. So,
right?
well, I don't know about you. I mean, I was just starting to get used to calling it, Taz. It'd been PCF forever. I had to consciously try to make myself say Taz. And then what's old is new again. We went to TPCF, right? So, right or wrong, I shortened that down to just PCF again. I did get some. Yeah,
we got
there you
these
go.
still, right?
Yep.
We'll make a new cut. These didn't last. Like, I don't know. I got like 500 of these. They didn't last. I don't have many left after Las Vegas, so we'll have to. We have a new slight idea how to add to the special effect. But yeah.
And it's been fun to watch out where those stickers are showing up. I was actually on a meeting with one of our senior sales leaders that had that on his laptop, and I was like, "That's awesome." And then another senior leader is like, "Hey, is that official?" Yes.
Yes.
It's officially unofficial.
Yeah, everything's unofficially licensed NFL merchandise or whatever how they get away with the third party printing of all the team names or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But, those are stickers, probably going to have to get that from you so that when I go places, you're not there, because those stickers went quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think we need to get some of these BOSH stickers too. So
Agreed. Yeah, we'll be
I'm
talking
gonna-
to Maya about getting our own stash of those so that we can hand those out when we go places.
And if you know of any of the other old mascots, like I want to bring back Dread Pirate Diego too.
Yeah.
If you remember him. So, I gotta find. I don't know if anyone has the actual official image for that, but I guess I could work with whatever I find on Google. But
If only we knew a marketing guy.
well, that was well before my time. Here, I was a customer at that point, but somebody has that image saved somewhere. Who knows? But yeah, we'll figure it out.
So Maya, do you ever get a chance to go out and talk with the community? You got anything coming up?
I make it a point to try to talk at the CF day almost every other year. I think someone else gave the BOSH update this year, but if no one else on the team volunteers to give it next year, it'll probably be me.
Oh, so I take it you're not going to try to go to Germany for CF Days Europe?
I will ask my boss.
Yeah. Understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, for CF Days, I don't know. Am I supposed to mention this, Nick? I know that there was supposed to be a little get together prior or just after CF Days. Is that official yet? Can we talk about it?
We're working on it.
Never mind. I didn't say anything. This is not
To
the
be
announcement you
continued.
were looking for. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
My bad.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but yeah.
Nick's going to yell at me after this episode.
No,
I
it's
just want y'all to
okay.
know that.
Yeah. I just
Right.
don't know what we can say yet, officially or unofficially.
Gotcha.
So we'll just play it safe.
Yep. Well, I hope to see everybody there. Again, we'll go ahead and take this chance, being able to learn things about the new updates to BOSH, what we're doing with Spring, other advancements on the platform, make sure you hit the subscribe button, click the bell so that you get notified when new episodes coming out. Viewership's growing. Right now, Maya, congratulations. You are now right now one of our highest live counts that we've had so far. So congratulations on that one. But every Thursday, we do this episode. So make sure you hit the bell to be notified. Keep an eye out on the Cloud Foundry Weekly LinkedIn, Nick's LinkedIn, my LinkedIn, Nick's Twitter. And I think I'm officially going to have to break down and start doing my own Twitter as well. I've been fighting that for years, but I'm going to have to do it. And then, I guess we should say, if you got any questions on BOSH, so, Maya, this is her LinkedIn approach. Feel free to, reach out to her, make friends, send her some messages if you got questions you didn't want to bring up on the comments. But make sure you reach out if you got questions. And we've thrown down the gauntlet, right? If you're a customer that's interested and you want to be able to rotate certs on a whole platform and you have the ability to take the platform and take a little bit of downtime, we need to know about it. That's something that we've got to run up to engineering. That's the only way things get done, people, is we've got to have customers request them. We've got to have, feature requests in from customers, and we got to be able to back up that this is something people need. So reach out to us so that we can take your name down, put y'all in as a customer that wants this.
Yeah. Or really any other thing you want to see within the ecosystem, right? Your customer feedback is very very valuable, and it's better than feedback from Mickey and I, although they listen to us sometimes. But yeah, so yeah, it
holds a lot more weight when I can say customer X wants this rather than, hey, I think this is a good idea. So, and again, we're going to keep putting this call out. I'm surprised nobody's taken up the call to arms yet, but we want to hear customer stories. If you're a customer that uses this today, you're doing something cool, neat, or hey, this is just something that's really helped your business, let us know. Reach out to us. We'd love to get you on a show and talk about how Cloud Foundry's helped out your business, what it's doing for your company, or anything new that you're doing with it. There's a lot of interesting things going out there that customers are doing that people aren't getting credit for, and you need to get credit for stuff that you're doing.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Worst case, we'll have to revisit some of the Explore talks for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And maybe we should put that link up there.
I mean, Dobbs, we can have you on the show if you want to. You can be fully anonymous, or we don't have to tell where you work.
And we can hide your face.
Yeah, if you want to be a koala bear, I think that's your icon there.
That's awesome. Dobbs the koala comes on to talk about Cloud Foundry. That sounds like a good show.
Yeah.
Just, reach out to us, Dobbs.
Yeah, you're on the show often, so we'd like to get more info there.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, I guess any closing thoughts, if I can speak correctly?
It's not just me whose mind's not working for him.
Yeah.
What do you think, Maya? Any closing thoughts from you?
I think you might have just nailed it. I'd love to hear more feedback about what folks are looking for in future OpsMan and BOSH features. Reach out.
Yep. If you weren't able to catch her LinkedIn, it's in the show notes. Her bio's in the show notes. We've also got some links to some of the things that she talked about. We'll go ahead and show those real quick. But how to compile the releases without a director. So we've got that link in the show notes right there. And then also, if you just want to take a look at whoa, that didn't work out well, did it?
You got a scrolling thing going on there. I don't even know how you do this thing.
Oh, you click the little button that says scroll.
Oh, okay.
So this was a long one, but we've got OpsMan 3.0 release notes out there. You want to keep an eye on the release notes. This is what's going to tell you the important features, the fixes, the security patches that we've done. It should always be your first stop when you're looking to do an upgrade. So there's the link for that. That's also in the show notes. So I will, again, put the call out. Dobbs has already volunteered if we can find a way to make him a koala. Come on the show. If you're another customer, come on the show. Let's talk about what you're doing. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, do you know how we end the show, Maya?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Let's see if we need to harass her a little bit. How often do you watch the show, Maya?
I skimmed 2 episodes this week.
All right. The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Yeah. Hey, she skimmed 2 episodes. I take that as a win, right?
Adding to the view count,
Yeah. Did we get 2 views? That's all that matters, right?
Did you subscribe?
No. But I will
Well,
after this. Now that I'm on.
Yeah.
At least you're honest with us now. I didn't subscribe yet, but I'm going to because I was on the show. So that's awesome. Well, Maya, thank you very much. We appreciate you being on. The way that we sign off on this show is, we use the OCF CLI CF BY. So that's how we end up signing off on this. So I'll let you do the countdown, Nick.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
CF BY. Y'all have a good day.